everybody, welcome to the Tomo Pop post SDCC video. I am Pedro Cortez, your features editor, and we're joined by your Tomo Pop crew. Of course, we have Brian over here. Say hi, Brian.
Hi.
We have Rio. Say hi, Rio. We have Natalie. Say hi, Natalie.
Hi and howdy.
And we have Tian. Say hi, Tian.
Hello.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give our impressions of the convention for actually 5 days of madness. And it is pretty much how many of us were like our first Comic-Con? I know it was my first, it was Rio's first, it was Tian's first. So you two had experienced this insanity before.
Yes.
Many times, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 times for me too.
Oh my
yeah.
God. Okay, so we'll get into that into the individual segments, but here we go. We'll get into that right now.
Well, this year was kind of a little bit different than last year. They changed the layout of the convention floor, moved all the video games away from the designer toys. So it was a little bit nicer down there as far as traffic, except near the Funko booth, because for some reason Funko decided that they were just going to have a bunch of exclusives this year, and it was madness every day. As far as designer stuff goes, it was all right. There's a lot of stuff that was kind of different colorways of things we'd had out there. Not a whole lot that was really super new, super exciting, but enough to keep my interest. As far as the kind of the anime stuff goes, probably the Tamashii Nations booth probably had the most awesome stuff. They had obviously the figure art Shenron was pretty cool. The Sailor Moon figure is actually very nice. They're coming along very nicely. Power Ranger stuff looks pretty good. Very happy that I pre-ordered some of that. Square Enix had some very interesting Play Arts Kais. I hope the paint issues I've run into in the past are kind of in the past now, because that could really ruin some of those really good figures that they have coming out. Like the RoboCop, looking forward to that one. And some of the Aliens figures too looked really interesting that they're doing. Kotobukiya had the armored Wonder Woman Bishoujo, which looks very nice. Street Fighter stuff's coming along pretty nice as well. And really that's about it. I think it's pretty much a normal kind of Comic-Con. Some of the surprises got spoiled ahead of time, but yeah, it's pretty par for the course, I guess. A lot of good stuff, some bad things. It's not necessarily from companies, but there's too many people here. And that's about it.
Hi guys, this was my first Comic-Con and I can tell you it was an experience. One of the first things I saw at preview night was attempting to get to the Hasbro booth so that I could get my My Little Pony as planned, and no, that's not a thing that happens, just so you know. Unless you're a person who wants to get up at like 6 in the morning and be in line to go get a ticket and then go sell your stuff on eBay. That's pretty much how it happens to get it in the Hasbro booth. Otherwise, you're a bunch of adults pushing children down just so that you can go get your toys. Literally saw that at both the Hasbro and Mattel booths this year. So, no, I'm fine with paying people on eBay to do it for that convenience fee. Absolutely fine. I don't need to ever do that myself. As for other things that I saw, the Tamashii Nations booth was awesome. I have to give mad props to the Daft Punk setup that they had. It was glorious. There was stuff everywhere. You cannot even begin to imagine from one end to the other of the convention. Blizzard's stuff was really cool. Sadly did not get the plushie, but not surprised considering they would sell out like 20 minutes within the start of the morning. So all in all, it was a very good con. I got way too many things and spent way more than I should have, and ended up shipping home a 26.5-pound box. So that'll be waiting for me whenever I get home. So we'll see what I got in my unboxing.
So Comic-Con for me this is my 3rd year, 2nd year's press, and it was really more for me about talking with the artists I knew, which is lovely. I always like talking with the artists. That's pretty much my favorite thing to do at the con. Really like going over to the Vamplet booth. Their booth is really, really cool. It's all done up gothic. Furry Feline Creatives, great booth. I met the artist who does Tentacle Kitty, and that was amazing. I'm a big fan of his work. and that was really, really awesome. Apparently he's going to have a Kickstarter soon for more characters, and that was really, use the word again, awesome. I will say what was not awesome, though, to reiterate what Brian mentioned previously, was the crowd. It was, I don't get claustrophobic terribly easily being an avid Disneyland attendee, but this was nuts. More so than last year, and I don't know how that's actually possible, given that there's such a thing as a fire code, but yeah. And, but lots of exclusives, a lot of plush exclusives, which I am really both sad and thrilled about. Sad because my wallet is crying, but happy about because they were all awesome. I managed to actually get everything I wanted off of my wish list, including the Gary Hamlana Crooks Hermes plush, which I mentioned previously. A gorgeous, gorgeous 1 out of 5 plush. I got number 2. I also got the Zergling Mangling Blizzard transformable plush. That was freaking nuts trying to get, I will say. I don't know how, but yeah. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. And as Rio mentioned, the people selling it on eBay, we are seeing pictures of people selling it literally with pictures of the con floor on eBay. Really? You couldn't have waited till you got back to your hotel room? Really? Okay, fine. There's no love for the toys there. That's just love of money, which I think is disgusting. But fine, you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. Anyways, for me personally, the con, I still love it. I still want to go back next year. That's really about it.
All right, so this was my first Comic-Con, and although I didn't feel ready, like going in, I really was not prepared, I guess, for just like the sheer amount of physical activity you have to do. I mean, I've done a few other cons in the past, but this was by far the longest and the most crowded. So that certainly takes a toll. The first night, I basically made a beeline to Kotobukiya's booth because the only thing that I really wanted to get that was on my list was the exclusive Bishojo Harley Quinn. So I was able to take care of that. And then for the rest of the con, all my shopping was pretty much, you know, whatever didn't have too long of a line and I could get my hands on. So in terms of other stuff I did, I sat on a bunch of panels. They weren't terribly exciting except for the Magic the Gathering one. That was really cool. I did some autograph signings. I went to see a few of the actors from the new Battlestar Galactica. So I think my crowning moment of awesomeness is meeting with Edward James Olmos and taking a photo with him. And what wasn't so awesome was fucking Hall H. Because they do all of the huge panels there. So for Hall H, they had Kick-Ass and the Riddick panel, followed by Walking Dead, followed by Game of Thrones. So obviously I really wanted to do Game of Thrones, so I got into line and it wrapped around all the way outside, all the way past the Hilton, all the way past the marina, all the way like to the parking lot of the marina pretty much. So then 5 hours later, we made it to the tented area just outside of the convention center and they closed it down. Hall H was full, no more entrance. So that was like half a day wasted waiting to try to get into Game of Thrones. And that sucked. So what else did I do? Oh yeah, and the other thing that kind of sucked is the fact that there's a bunch of tracks running along just right in front of the convention center. So if a train comes along, then there's a huge backup and basically you're just stuck waiting in line for a really long time to try to get home. But let's talk about more of the positive things. So the booth's sideshow was ridiculous. They had all the like 1/4 scale statues, they had light up stuff, they had some life-size War Machine armors, and they had all of the Hot Toys stuff on display. That was kind of difficult to cover, but it was totally worth it. And then the thing that I liked the most was the quantum mechanics booth, because they had the Star Trek ships in like glorious 3-foot scale. So that was really, really impressive to see in person. And they also showed off a 1/6 scale Malcolm Reynolds statue that they're going to make, and that got the Firefly fan in me really excited. So those are the two main things that I took away from the con.
All right, so this is my first Comic-Con, and I had a lot of expectations going into this. I expected a lot of crowds, and I got exactly what I was expecting. This is easily the most crowded place I've been into, but luckily the way that everything was organized, at least for me, I didn't really have too many problems getting around and getting to what I wanted. Now, what I wanted was, the only thing that I absolutely needed to have was Koto's the limited Bishoujo Harley. So I got that out of the way real quick. I also wanted the Super Best Friends Forever, that 3-pack, and luckily Rio was able to hook me up and get me one, and there wasn't too much demand for that one, so that was not simple. However, anybody who wanted anything with a Power Ranger on it was completely fucked. There was no way in hell they were gonna get a chance at it, and I'm so sorry, Andres, if you watch this. I tried, and Hiroko, I tried to get you Soundwave. That wasn't happening. So, yeah, no, I feel bad because I really wanted to go and try to help people out, but guess what? You think you know, and then you come here, and then hope is just crushed when it comes to toys. But for what I focused more on the convention, and while everybody was going and taking care of the booths, I was doing more of like the more the how-tos and more some of the more inside stuff, like how the transition from action figures from being just something that kids play with into collectibles, or how action figures are made, like the scientific process of it, what plastics they use, that kind of thing. A lot of interesting stuff, and that's really, really interesting. I think for people who are like really big fans of toys in general, like going to this con is fantastic because you get an insight into these things that really you never really have a chance to know unless you like really go and dig into blogs, into really personal things. You learn more of the business side of it, and you actually get a chance to meet the sculptors. Like the one group that I saw continuously, and while Crudo might know more about this, I'm not really too big on action figures. The Four Horsemen are a group of sculptors who apparently kick a lot of ass, and they were everywhere. I kept seeing them over and over again and seeing their work. And it's an insight that I really didn't have, so I think that's really neat. And somebody who focuses more on Japanese PVC, it's a great insight, and I mean, I completely recommend this convention. You gotta go. Just have a lot of money because goddamn shit's fucking expensive. And that's really it for SDCC. I mean, you've seen all of our coverage on the site, and now you're seeing our faces telling you how we felt about the convention. Wow, I had a really good time. I think even though everybody else here was pretty busy, I think we all had a pretty good time throughout overall. So I guess the suggestion is try to survive and get your passes into the convention for the 5 minutes that it's available. So I wish you good luck for that, and farewell from Tomo Pop here at San Diego Comic-Con. This is Pedro Cortez.
I'm Brian Shabelsky.
Rio McCarthy.
Natalie Kipper.
Tian Ma.
And take care. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.